So later we should take a sample from the crucible. I see that it's now no longer burning, or maybe a little bit, Anyway, so we'll take samples to see what's happened after all this burn, and maybe we'll start another fire, and also work on the sculptures. So, by the way, I don't know if you remember, because I mentioned it a couple of maybe 2 weeks ago, but I have many flags that I painted, and many actually were destroyed, but many are still with me. All sorts of like flags of many countries. Like this is a flag of this is like a poster. It's made of on paper. Even though very quality paper, like, but almost all my paintings are on canvas. But this is on paper, and as I said, it's like painted on the two sides, and this is typical actually. But I have many flags, you see, of the United States, of great, like the Union Jack, they have China, and all sorts of like, with all sorts of like intentions. And I've mentioned in the past that I couldn't like communicate with the cherubs, starships, even though it's like 20 months that I paint these flags, and I couldn't communicate the meaning of flags because, and also even not of maps, like they barely, they barely accept like that they should be aware of maps, but certainly not of flags. Like and actually, I came to the conclusion that they are correct, because theirs is abusing me. Not that this state or another, this country or another. Israel is the trash can of the world. Israel is a Nazi prison of the world. But if the people of the world wouldn't want me here, I wouldn't have been there a long ago. They want me here because the intelligence services enjoy, the usage of the robots, without any limitation. And of course, they, depend on taking, like, exploiting me in, like, less in horrible way, less in farm, in animal. And of course, that the best place to torture me is Israel, because their countries are democracies. It's not comfortable to torture people in it. So they are correct. It's not this country and another country. It's the world. And I also mentioned that many times. Actually, it's you might find it a little bit funny, but that the interpreted flag. If they do care about flags, they interpret it is like in a quasi mimetic way, like not as like representation of like sovereign states, but presumably as kind of like like a visual imitation or visual representation of kind of like of physical objects or physical phenomenon. So I mentioned, for example, that the flag of Brazil, I came to understand that they think that it's a symbol of the planet Saturn, because the shape and the color, and also like the ring, like the kind of like the encryption is kind of like it looks like a ring, like the rings on the Saturn. And I also mentioned that they interpret the American flag as kind of like as I would say wartime instructions, which is funny because with all the like the weaponry, like weapon culture of the United States, but it's kind of like instruction to the fleet, like presumably like the number of stars is kind of like the number of like starships, and stripes. They symbolize radiation, which is the main like weapon of this fleet. Of course, they also shoot asteroids, as you know, and they do. They have other weapons, but radiation is the main weapon, and like supposedly it's the red and white stripes symbolize like a radiation attack with some kind of some kind. I don't know, maybe 13 something. I don't know. But anyway, that's this is long good. That's the interpreted. That's how they. Maybe like other flags, they have other interpretations of like along those lines. But so yes. The hours are really as they say, numbered, שעות ספורות. There is not much more time to speak. I mean, you like to speak so much. You enjoy conversation while I'm tortured and my daughters are tortured, and I understand it, but you need to understand that you don't have many hours to converse more. Like, I mean, and this is it. This is the end. This is the end. The room for conversation is becoming smaller and smaller, and soon it's just the end.